Hi, True Blues. It's your girl, Fenyx Blue, sharing lyrics, lessons, and lifestyle with you. Today's guest is author Donna Dee, author of Growing Up Too Fast. Let's go.
Just got to the point I was like, Mom, stop reading me these books. Read something else or read something fun.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, if you want something fun, then you write it.
Mm.
So I'm
Okay,
like,
Mom.
okay. So the next day we go to the store and she gives me a notebook and a pencil and she's like, okay, you write something. You create something since you're better than these writers.
Mm.
So I'm writing something or whatever. The big test is if my brothers are excited. So if they're excited, I'm like, I know I can win over anybody.
Brother's audience, yes.
Exactly. So I write that night. I wrote this story called "The Duck That Went to Catville."
Mm.
My brothers were excited the whole time, and I'm like, okay. So my mom was like, okay. So every night for like 2 weeks straight, I was writing these short stories and reading them to my little brothers. I would take them to school with me and read them to my classmates, and everybody was excited and interested. And I'm like, wow, okay, maybe this is something that is a talent.
Yeah.
So as I got older, I would write little short stories or poems. Poems was my thing growing up. As
Mhm.
I got older, it turned more into books.
Okay.
So it started with writing journals and diaries. And for some reason, it just turned into this book. You know how you get juicy stories from your friends and your cousins?
Yeah.
And it just came into this book. So I'm going to be cliche. So one night I have a dream and I see the beginning of the book
Yes.
and the end of the book. And I'm like, okay, where's the middle? So I just sit down and I just started writing because writing is like my passion, it's my outlet.
Yes.
And it turned into this novel.
Wow.
And I was, at first, I was a little afraid to put it out because I'm thinking, okay, this is different from poetry.
Mm-hmm.
This is a whole book.
Oh, yeah.
So I let my best friend read it and she was like, oh my God, this needs to be out.
Wow.
And it came out August of 2019. And since then, I've sold 310 copies.
That is pretty awesome. Your brothers were impressed. Your mother was impressed. Your best friend was impressed. And you got it in a dream. It was your outlet, right? And
Mhm.
it's a lot of writers out there, they want to impress their friends and family and write a book, and sell 300 copies, but maybe they don't have the skill set that you do. So I'm wondering if you could give some advice to them, for
Mhm.
those who are aspiring to be in your shoes. They want to be writers, but maybe they just need a tip.
The one thing that I can say is the best tip is be able to relate to the readers. I always wanted my writings to be something that people can say, oh my goodness, that happened to me.
Yes.
That happened to someone I know. Because no one wants to pick up a book and be like, oh, okay. You want it to be exciting from beginning to end, not just looking at the cover and like, oh, but you want it to be juicy, grab, hold that person. And that was what I always wanted to write. I want something to be relatable, real, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just my tip. Just be yourself. Don't try to mock another author or mimic what you see in other books. Just be yourself because everybody has anybody can write is what
Mm.
my writer friends tell me. Anybody can write,
Yeah.
but you need to do something that's going to be different. What's so different about you? Like everybody knows Zane, and we know when we read a Zane book, we
Mm-hmm.
know that's Zane.
Yes.
So do something that's going to be you and different.
And put your spin on it. Be
Yeah,
yourself, be authentic, tell the story,
exactly.
try to relate to your audience. I hear you. So who would you say, I hear about your mother, your brothers, your best friend, your biggest cheerleader along the way? I mean, that was a lot of people, but who's been your biggest cheerleader for you throughout this process?
Well, now I would say my husband is my, my biggest cheerleader. And
Woo-hoo!
he does not like to read, but he has read my book at least 6 times.
That is awesome.
So he's all like my biggest cheerleader. So, and then other than my best friend, because she's just in awe. She's like, this is gonna be a movie one day. So,
Wonderful. So,
mhm.
what would, if I asked your best friend or your husband, if you were, our acronym is BLUE, bold, loving, unapologetic, or evolving. That's our Facebook group. Blue
Yes.
Writers, we're bold, we're loving, we're unapologetic, we're evolving. But what would your husband or your best friend say is, the word that really captures who you are?
unapologetic, me.
Yeah.
Because I've always been honest, whether the person likes it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just always been a part of me. So whether the person likes what they hear or not, I'm going to be honest. And I want that in return. So like when I have people read my book, I always say, review it, read it, tell me what you think about it. Honestly. Because most of the time friends and family are gonna be like, oh, it's so wonderful, it's so good. And
Right.
it can be horrible.
Yes.
Strangers are the ones that are gonna be honest with
Oh,
you.
they will. For sure.
Another tip, friends and family are not always gonna support you.
Mm. Okay.
Shocking, but it happens.
Yeah.
You get the biggest support from strangers, you know, and it's your book, so you have to push it.
You have to be your biggest cheerleader as well.
Yeah,
I hear you.
exactly.
Absolutely. And hold on throughout the journey, no matter what. They may come
Exactly.
around later, your friends and family, once they see the strangers love you.
That's usually how it happens.
You never know. So I want to hear about the books, of course. So if you could just give us like a little tease. I know you can. I want to hear that elevator pitch. I want to hear, what is this book about? You told me so many times. I love like you when you did the acronym for Growing Up Too Fast. You're like, G is for this. But tell me about the story.
Okay, well, the name of the book is Growing Up Too Fast, and it's about a young girl who grows up too fast. And we know a little girl like that.
Why
It's
does it
either
always say she's fast,
yeah,
fast,
exactly.
fast?
But you have to look at why that person went through the things that they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And this young girl went through heartache. She saw death. She was around drugs, sex, abuse.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that she wanted was love. But
Yeah.
the thing was, she was looking in all the wrong places instead of looking inside.
Mm.
That's where it starts.
Yes, it does.
So she was looking outwardly for something that she already had. So that's pretty much the book. You know, you're just going on her journey through life.
Wow. And so that goes back to what you originally said. That is a story that can relate to so many people. We know
Exactly.
that girl. We feel like we know. Some of us are that girl. You know, there's
Hmm.
that are gonna, oh, I remember when you were a fast little girl. They will,
Yeah,
too fast. So you started with a story that anyone could relate to, and then you put your touch in it. I know you have your little spin
exactly.
on it, okay, that everyone is going to enjoy. All right. Um, so where can people find you, right? Where can they, if they want to find out more about Donna Dee, because you're going to be everywhere. And don't you have another project coming up?
I do. I am currently writing part two,
Mm.
Growing Up Too Fast, which is going to be Love is a Two-Way Street. But that's going to come out in 2021. Right now, you can find me. I'm on Facebook is author Donna Dee,
Mm-hmm.
or you can find me on Instagram is author underscore Donna, Donna underscore DEE79. And then today, my website just came up.
I saw.
So it's authordonnad.com.
Wonderful. That is awesome. So for our last question of the day, I just am curious, with you having so much success and people out there wanting to have that same success, do you have any writer influences, like you're a favorite writer, someone that you kind of mimic? Because sometimes we need a mentor, right? You are
Mhm.
being yourself, but who do you look for? Like you're like, oh, wow, I like that author's journey or their style. Who was your writer influence so that people can know who inspire you as they go and try to seek you out?
So many. It is so many. But now my favorite poet is Maya Angelou.
Oh, yes.
And I got to meet her twice.
So, oh my God.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But the advice that she would give me, even as a poet, went into writing. She just said the same thing, just be real, be you. Put yourself on every page.
I love it.
And that's what I do. And another author that I love was Toni Morrison.
Oh,
She was unapologetic.
okay.
So
For
I
sure.
kind of mimic her attitude and her personality. And then, of course, Zane,
Okay.
Juicy Zane.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I kind of put everything that I've learned from all of them into one thing and just, that's me.
Why not take a little bit of the greats from each of the
There you go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I just wanted the viewer to know a little bit about who inspires you, so they can kind of know who you are and kind of seek you out. But I'm so happy that you came on the Blue Block today, and
I'm excited to be here.
thank you so much for being here. And I know we will continue to collaborate and support each other. You have a
Okay,
good one.
thank you. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, neighbors. So now we know we can be whoever we choose to be. We learned that from Miss Donna Dee. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Bye bye.